Questions for Coach Bria?
Several of the players mentioned that you're not playing against Tennessee's past. Is that something that you've been talking to them about?
Every day.
Can you elaborate on what you've said to them?
Yeah, I think you can get, while we appreciate the history and Tennessee and what they have done for women's basketball, and we respect that a great deal, you can become a little bit overwhelmed by it if you don't break it down. And I tell them, I said, we're not playing the history. We are playing this particular team, and which is a very good team. You know, they're not a #1 seed for no reason. But, you know, you have to simplify things and break it down, and even down to each little play. So, and you got to talk about things you can control. And what we can control is our effort, our energy, playing tough, playing hard, and that's really what we've done. We have talked about what we can control, but we do have a great deal of respect for the history. You can't come here. I mean, you enter the state, and you're talking about Tennessee women's basketball. So, and we all have an appreciation for it. But most of these players weren't even born when they hung a lot of those banners. So they shouldn't get caught up into that.
Coach, you haven't had much of a chance to see what kind of effect winning a game like that last-second shot has had, but can you see any type of a ripple effect with your players through the whole team when you win a game in that sort of fashion?
Well, when we won that game like that, honestly, it was because a lot of people say to me, you didn't have much of a reaction, and I was, you're at the lowest of lows and you're at the highest of highs after she made that shot. But I think it goes back to, we were picked, like Clayton asked, we were picked next to last in our league, and nobody thought we would be any good. And while I thought we had some pieces to be much better, I had no idea we would do what we're doing now and win the league. But as far as a ripple effect, I think it's put Stetson on the map. It's amazing how many people watch ESPN in the top 10 highlights. I mean, I've had people I hadn't heard from in years. People I thought were dead are calling me. So it's just amazing the exposure it's gotten for our program and for Stetson University and even for our conference. If we'd just won that game in a normal way, then nobody probably would have cared, but because you won it in such a miracle fashion. But I think it's just a belief. It just goes to show that even with 1.4 and you're taking the ball out with no timeouts, that our players believe that if there's time on the clock, we have a chance to win. So by having the body of work and winning and turning around, and people, not believing in us, and certainly nobody thinks we're going to win tomorrow. We're used to it, and we are. This isn't a position we haven't been in all year. So I think it's really, we had confidence before that, but for her to even take the shot showed that we believe we can win if there's time on the clock.
Can you talk about what has really occurred with this team that's allowed them to gel and be so much better than what people expected?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I don't know. You need to ask Pat that question. She knows, has a lot more answers for that than I do as far as, chemistry is interesting. As a coach, when you have great chemistry and when you don't have it. But I'm not sure we all really know how we get it or how we lose it, but we have great chemistry. Our players get along, and I've just told them all year, if you just play hard and play together, we'll win a lot of games. Now, to win a championship is completely different. I think you have to play tough and you have to execute at a high level. But I am not sure, our numbers, we only have 10 players, maybe less is more. We don't have a lot of players that are unhappy because they're not playing, because they all get to play. Our players, they get along. I think, they get along off the court. So I think all that has an effect on your team. But we have great chemistry. And I don't know exactly how we got there, but we have it.
20 cents at Tennessee. Obviously, I mean, Tennessee has lost in the first round. You're talking about history. It happened 2 years ago, which shocked everyone. Now, it would be unusual to lose here. I think they've lost 20 times since 1987. I mean, it's some ungodly number.
Yeah.
So that is a long shot, but do you tell your team, you don't, the same thing you've been saying? I mean, the exposure you get here, is that an advantage for you? Do you tell your team, you never know what's going to happen, just tip it off and let's see?
Yeah, well, you don't really just talk about every play, each play. Play every play as hard as you can, and do the things we can control. We can contest shots. We can box out. We really can't worry about how many games they've won or lost here. If we get caught up into that, we won't be able to get anything done. We can't even really. We know they're bigger. We know that. We've got to do some things to try to counter that. But I just think you try to simplify for them, and that's what we've done.